The man noticed beans rolling on the table, and he discovered a terrifying secret, because this indicated that the watchtower they were stationed at had seriously tilted. What's worse, due to being constantly battered by level 5 storms, the watchtower had long been severely damaged. The reactor had also suffered a slight leak during a massive tsunami, so the team had to take iodine baths once a week to counteract radiation. But what troubled them even more was that the storm had swept away all their supplies, so not only had the drinking water at the station run out, but the food in the fridge was also running low. In order to survive, the 4-man team stationed there could only eat the minimum every day to maintain their basic strength, and they had been stationed at this watchtower for 2 years. According to the rules, new personnel were supposed to rotate every 2 years, but for some unknown reason, although the time for rotation had long passed, they still couldn't see any comrades coming to replace them. Just as the few of them were falling into despair, the lookout soldier suddenly noticed something terrifying. He saw a ship quietly approaching, but there was no signal on the radar. Due to the strange situation, the captain immediately ordered the communications officer to identify whether it was friend or foe, but no matter how Amy called, there was no response from the other side. At this point, Hunter speculated that this could be the ship that was supposed to replace them, but the captain decisively pressed the alarm button to notify the bald-headed soldier to stand by on the deck. Despite being filled with doubts, the soldiers still followed the orders to turn the cannons. The unidentified ship continued to approach, and everyone's heart was in their throats. Just as the shells were loaded and about to be fired, the captain suddenly changed his mind. Considering that the ship might be carrying their own comrades, he ordered Hunter to take the yacht and scout the situation. Though he didn't understand why he was chosen, he still carried out the order firmly out of his nature as a soldier. As he got closer to the ship, the letters on the ship became clearer, and it was the replacement ship they had been waiting for. But strangely, there wasn't a single soldier aboard. It was like a ghost ship, floating on the silent sea. Fighting back his inner fear, Hunter boarded the ship, and began searching the ship carefully, leaving no corner unchecked. He entered the messy cabin, where various items were covered in spider webs. It was clear that this ship had been abandoned for a long time, but why had it appeared here? Was it really just a coincidence? As Hunter went deeper into the cabin, he unexpectedly discovered some personal items, and even 4 sets of military protective gear. At this point, Hunter was certain this was the equipment of the comrades who were supposed to rotate them, but now they had disappeared. Fortunately, the food supplies were still there, and Hunter immediately began eating, unaware that the captain, due to not receiving any response, was starting to suspect that Hunter might have met with misfortune, so they were considering destroying the ship. But since the distance was beyond the cannon's range, they could only use their ultimate weapon. However, this required both his and Amy's keys to activate. Amy clearly disagreed with the captain's decision, but she knew the consequences of disobeying military orders. After hesitating for a moment, she handed over the keys. The captain inserted both keys, activated the computer program, and soon received the random launch password. At that moment, Amy still wanted to say something, but she was ruthlessly shut down by the captain. Just as this was happening, Hunter suddenly remembered the intercom he had turned off. He quickly turned it back on, only to be scared half to death.
We've got live. Repeat, we've got live.
No one here. All clear.
The captain finally breathed a sigh of relief. He ordered Hunter to drag the ship back, and also canceled the weapon launch order. But just when the captain pulled out the key, he didn't return Amy's key, because he believed that during the emergency earlier, Amy hesitated when taking the key, almost causing a delay in a critical situation. Soon, Hunter returned with the ship, and upon learning that he had almost been killed by the captain, he secretly cursed the captain.
Fucking lunatic.
As the chief mechanic of the watchtower, the bald-headed soldier discovered that the ship's engine had been out of order for at least several months. So where had it come from? The ship had plenty of food, but the crew had all mysteriously disappeared. To figure out what happened, the captain downloaded the ship's logbook and took out the nautical chart. He plotted the cargo ship's sailing route based on the coordinates, but the results shocked him. He was clearly an excellent mechanic, but every day he studied the structure and construction of furniture. What's even stranger was that every time he was on duty, he'd have a few drinks with his comrades, because he had been stationed at the offshore watchtower for a solid 10 years. Yet he still couldn't get the replacement comrades he was waiting for, so it was inevitable that he had some complaints. Finally, one day, they discovered a ship sent by headquarters, but oddly enough, the 4 comrades aboard had mysteriously vanished, and even the ship's cabin had suffered severe damage. Luckily, thanks to the bald-headed man's exceptional repair skills, he managed to fix the supply ship's engine, giving Hunter a glimmer of hope for returning to the mainland. But just as he was about to share this news with the captain, The captain, with a serious face, said, "Immediately dismantle all parts from the ship, because until the replacement soldiers arrived, no one could leave their post." However, their 2-year term was already up. If they didn't leave before the next storm arrived, this hard-earned supply ship would undoubtedly be washed away by the tsunami. Time was running out. While the two of them were debating whether to disobey military orders, the captain suddenly appeared with Amy. After careful consideration, he decided to split the team. The platform needed at least 2 people to operate, so the captain ordered Hunter and the bald-headed man to return for rescue, and Amy, who volunteered to stay, would continue waiting for the replacement soldiers with him. Of course, Hunter couldn't agree. How could he allow his woman to stay alone with another man at the base? So he decided to stay in Amy's place, but Amy's response struck his heart hard.
Whatever you think you feel.
With red eyes, Hunter turned and left, but just then, in the dead of night, the base's alarm rang. The radar showed that another ship was approaching the base. The captain decisively ordered the bald-headed man to fire, but the first shell missed the target. The captain immediately ordered the bald-headed man to reload. Just as the second shell was about to be fired, Hunter suddenly realized something was wrong. The ship they were targeting was their supply ship. The bald-headed man, upon hearing this, stood frozen in place. Unexpectedly, the captain took out a handgun and began threatening him. He ordered the bald-headed man to run, and when he saw him shake his head, the captain directly fired. Luckily, the bald-headed man was only grazed in the ear, but the stubborn man still stood motionless. Then, at that moment, it turned out that Hunter was the one who fired the shell, and he hit the supply ship directly. At that moment, the bald-headed man completely snapped. The 3 of them locked the captain in the storage room, and Amy took the opportunity to reclaim the 2 keys to activate the nuclear weapons. The next day, Hunter came to deliver food to the captain. He asked, confused, why the supply ship had to be destroyed, but the captain revealed a secret. It turned out that the ship had appeared on the radar 3 months ago, but just as it was about to reach here, it suddenly changed its course, and then stayed off course for a long time. The only explanation was that someone had sent the wrong coordinates. Hunter's initial unwillingness to accept the mission cleared him of suspicion. That's why the captain had always been suspicious of Amy and the bald-headed man, and that's why he tried to get back the nuclear weapon keys from Amy and prevent the bald-headed man from leaving the base. But Hunter had already lost trust in the captain and didn't believe his words. However, at that moment, the bald-headed man, drunk, grabbed Amy by the neck. Although she struggled with all her might, she was eventually overpowered and the 2 keys were taken from her. He went to the control room, intending to activate the nuclear weapon to destroy the watchtower. It was clear that he had lost all hope in life. Hunter rushed to stop him, but just as the last second of the password input came, the bald-headed man suddenly stopped.
I forgot the last number.
As Amy retrieved the keys, Hunter was shocked to find that the captain had jumped out of the window and run away. While the soldier was fishing, he suddenly discovered that there was a human hand in the fishing net. Though he was scared, he continued to pull it up out of curiosity. But what he saw shocked him. It was his own captain. Hunter was instantly terrified. And then he remembered something. No wonder when he delivered food to the captain this morning, he saw him jump out of the window and run away. At that moment, he wondered, on this vast sea, where could the captain possibly go? Little did he know, now the captain had met with misfortune. Remembering what the captain told him yesterday about a traitor within, Hunter now finally believed it. He recalled the bald-headed man's strange behavior earlier, and concluded that he must be the enemy agent hiding among them. To confirm his suspicions, Hunter immediately went to the archives, and found out that the bald-headed man had a severe case of intermittent mania. But because of his exceptional repair skills, he was hired despite failing the initial review. Hunter's back chilled as he read this. He immediately went to the deck to observe, and sure enough, there was only one person left on the returning boat. But what he didn't expect was that it was Amy who returned.
I begged him. He climbed off across the plastic. And he wouldn't come back.
Though Amy's acting was flawless, Hunter felt like he already had the answer in his heart. He checked the captain's notebook again, and found the date when the supply ship had an incident 3 months ago. He then found the duty log for that day, and the duty officer for that night was Amy. This made Hunter begin to doubt Amy's true identity. The next day, with a heavy heart, Hunter went to the control room. When he inserted the key into the switch, Amy suddenly walked in. Hunter decisively pulled out his handgun, and demanded that Amy confess everything, since it had been exposed. Amy stopped pretending. She told Hunter that on that day, she had rowed alone into the deep sea, pretended to be a contact person, and then eliminated the soldiers coming to replace them, and sabotaged the ship's engine. Her goal was to get the nuclear weapon key from the captain. Her true identity was a spy from an enemy country, and her target was clear: to control the nuclear weapons in the base. But the captain had never given her a chance to achieve her goal. She ruthlessly eliminated the supply soldiers, forcing everyone to stay at the base. She had thought her plan would succeed today, but unexpectedly, it was discovered by the person she loved the the most. She admitted that after years of being together, she had truly fallen in love with Hunter, but at the same time, she was conflicted, because she could not forget the mission her country had given her. But even though Amy cried and appeared pitiful, she still pressed the final confirmation button. At that moment, it felt like the entire world went silent, but after a long time, nothing happened. It turned out that at some point, the bald-headed man had already tampered with the program, and once the nuclear bomb was detonated, the resulting tsunami would destroy the entire human world, so it would activate a program to completely eliminate it. But with the loss of the Watchtower's deterrence, a large-scale war would erupt, so whoever came next could not know the secrets within. Therefore, the two of them decided to reluctantly live together. The movie ends here.